Quick question. You're a mid-level government administrator, stationed at the frozen edge of the known world. You have no money. You have an army of mercenaries who haven't been paid in months. Your boss is the literal Sun King of France, and he is completely unreachable because phones won't exist for another 200 years. Your deadline is basically before these guys stab you. What do you do? This is the story of how one panicked French bureaucrat in one desperate afternoon in 1685 accidentally invented the first fiat paper currency in North American history using playing cards. New France, 17th century, was basically what France called the chunk of North America they were squatting on along the St. Lawrence River, and it was not thriving. The whole colonial project ran on mercantilism, the doctrine that a colony exists purely to enrich the mother country. New France shipped out furs and fish. France shipped back manufactured goods that cost way more than the furs were worth. So whatever gold and silver arrived drained straight back out again, like water out of a bathtub with no plug, which left the colonists to improvise. Beaver pelts became money. Wheat was declared legal tender. Moose skins were authorized as currency in 1684.
Sir, I'd like to pay my taxes.
In what?
In moose.
How many moose?
3.5.
When actual coins did show up, they ran on two separate value systems at once, one for Europe and one, artificially inflated by a third, just for Canada, so the coins wouldn't get shipped home. Same coin, worth 15 sols in Paris and 20 in Quebec. The whole system balanced on one thing: the annual supply ship arriving from France with enough royal funds to keep the civil servants paid and the military fed. Which brings us to the year the ship didn't come. Enter Jacques de Meulles, intendant of justice, police, and finance for New France. Basically the colony's finance minister, chief administrator, and punching bag, all in one increasingly stressed Frenchman. He arrived in 1682, well-connected, married into the family of the king's own finance minister, so politically he had decent Wi-Fi. He also despised the governor-general, a man named Lebert, within about 4 minutes of meeting him. You are mismanaging the fur trade.
I am not.
I am writing a letter to Versailles.
You would not.
I have already written 17. By 1684, things were properly falling apart. The Iroquois Confederacy, armed by the English, threatened to end the Western fur trade. Lebert launched a military expedition with nearly 800 troops. The expedition was stopped not by the Iroquois, but by a flu outbreak, forcing a humiliating peace treaty on the Iroquois' terms. Lebert was recalled home in disgrace, replaced by a far more aggressive governor, and France sent hundreds of fresh soldiers to hold the colony.
Then France forgot to send any money to pay them. The Minister of the Marine, sitting in the gilded halls of Versailles, surrounded by marble tapestries, simply neglected to send the cash. De Meulles was left staring down thousands of hungry, armed soldiers in a colony where fur trade revenue had cratered. Having already drained his own fortune and his friends' goodwill trying to cover the gap, he begged. The reply took months to arrive. De Meulles has no money, no incoming ships, no credit, and an army making pointed suggestions about his continued health. He looked around his office, and what he had available, apparently, was playing cards. 17th century playing cards were thick, rigid pasteboard built to survive drunk soldiers slamming them on tavern tables, and their backs were completely blank. A perfect canvas for a desperate administrator. De Meulles requisitioned the cards, pulled out his official wax seal, and started writing values on the backs. A whole card, 4 livres. A half card, 2 livres. A quarter card, 15 sols. He signed them, stamped them, and issued a legal ordinance forcing every merchant in New France to accept the Jack of Hearts as currency. And it worked! The soldiers got paid, the colony didn't burn, and when a French ship finally arrived that September, De Meulles redeemed every card for real silver and destroyed them, exactly as promised. One problem.
It worked so well that every administrator after him decided printing cards beat balancing a budget. Reissues followed in 1686, 1690, and 1691. The emergency fix became standard policy. Naturally, cheap paper money worth real value invites forgery.
In 1690, a surgeon named Pierre Malidor got caught forging cards and was publicly flogged, fined, and sold into servitude. By the 1730s, the penalty for counterfeiting had escalated to hanging. But the real highlight of the whole era is the 1716 heist. 4 soldiers in Montreal set out to forge 80,000 livres in card money with a full division of labor.
An engraver, a forger for the official seals, and a sergeant swapping fakes into the real payroll. When the stamping press turned out to make a loud, suspicious thumping noise, their solution was to hire a military drummer to bang out cadences in the barracks and cover the sound. The heist ran for 2 months. Then the soldiers took their fortune straight to the tavern and spent it all at once. So lavishly that the authorities took one look at 4 previously broke men buying rounds for the room and knew exactly who they were. They were arrested and sentenced to death. Their accomplices smuggled in metal files. They cut their chains, stole a fishing boat, and sailed home to France across the Atlantic. They got away. Back to the economics, because the economics get worse. For the first couple of decades, all that overprinted card money didn't cause runaway inflation because Versailles never officially backed it. Merchants were free to charge a steep premium for anyone paying in cardboard instead of silver, so silver stayed in circulation and prices held roughly stable. Then, in 1705, the Crown declared the cards legal tender, equal to silver by law, no discrimination allowed, with doubled fines for any merchant who refused them. This is a very reliable way to destroy your own currency. If a 4-livre card and a 4-livre coin are legally identical, everyone spends the cards and hides the silver under the floorboards. Silver vanishes from circulation. The colony runs entirely on pasteboard, and merchants, forced to accept it at face value, raise every price to compensate. This is Gresham's law. Bad money drives out good. Between 1714 and 1719, the now bankrupt Crown announced a redemption plan. Buy back all the cards, but at 50% of face value, with a hard deadline. So you're buying back my life savings. At 50%, yes. Facing a guaranteed loss either way, colonists rushed to spend their cards on anything physical before the deadline hit. Everyone tried to trade cardboard for livestock and land at the same time. Prices tripled. Hyperinflation devastated the working class. In 1717, the Crown wiped out 960,000 livres in cards for a payout of just 360,000 in real value, erasing whole family savings overnight. 86 years. That's how long the consequences of one bureaucrat's desperate afternoon with a box of playing cards echoed through the colony. The sad part is that the immediate fix was genuinely sound. The disaster came from repetition, turning a one-time emergency into standard policy, printing far more than the economy could absorb, propping up a royal government too busy fighting expensive wars to properly fund its own colony. The cards weren't the problem, the addiction to them was.